So that is breathing tourism. Actually, uh, if we will take into consideration country like India, which is very densely populated, second to we can say to China, because China is the number one populated country in the world, and it is followed by India. And in India, there are some cities which are called metropolitan cities. Those are the cities that attract a huge migration of people from various states. Let me talk about Delhi. And you see how congested Delhi is, because people from many states come to Delhi for the purpose of job, for the purpose of business, for the purpose of studies, for the purpose of stay, for the purpose of medical care. So whatever are the reasons, but the city is thronged by people, and the population density is also very high. So with the result of that, we are witnessing, and there are scientific facts which are backing that is the city is highly polluted. The quality of the air is so poor, or we can say it is difficult to breathe in Delhi, especially during the times when the industries are running, when the traffic is at its peak on the roads. Although during these 5 months of the pandemic, economy had slowed down and the movement of people and had also considerably decreased on roads. Industries are not running the way they used to run earlier. So there is, we can say, the pollution level has gone down. But otherwise, the air quality index is so poor that it is an alarming situation for the inhabitants of the place. Now, when this is the scenario, in this scenario, you can identify a need. You can identify a need that the people who are living in such a metropolitan city need to inhale fresh air. Now, they can't do it at their place because of the air quality. So, especially you will see people in Delhi are staying in air conditioned flats, are working in air conditioned offices, are traveling in air conditioned cars, are shopping in air conditioned shopping malls. So wherever they go, they are in an air conditioned environment. And if they will step their foot out from the air conditioned environment, say they are in the market or on the road or in the lawns of their apartment, they will only get to breathe the exhaust of the outdoor units of the air conditioners that are mounted on the buildings. So they have no opportunity there to inhale fresh air. Now, that you can identify, and on that basis, you can design a tourism product. Suppose you will talk about your place where you live, and you will see that you are having open fields, open orchards, open we can say freshwater bodies like Buller Lake is there or some. So there is ample fresh air to breathe. So this is where you can think of designing a product. That is the place like a metropolitan city like Delhi, where they have hardly fresh air to breathe, and the place where you live and you have an ample levels of fresh air to offer. So on this can become an equation of designing a tourism product. Now this way you have something to offer which the person at the receiving end is in need of. So that is, you can give it the shape of breathing tourism. So a breathing tourism package can be designed and developed and offered to people living in such areas. Now what they can do once this package is designed, so naturally you are offering this package to the people who are living in metropolitan cities. Like here I take the example of Delhi, although there are many metropolitan cities in India, but I took the example of Delhi because it is the national capital, as well as it is only around an hour flying time from Srinagar. So for the people of Delhi to come to Srinagar is not difficult because there are many flights operating from Srinagar to Delhi, Delhi to Srinagar, starting from early in the morning till late in the afternoon. So that is, if this product is designed and offered and marketed the way it is ought to be marketed, it can catch a huge market segment because people will like to avail this offer. Suppose there are people who have vacations. There are people who have mostly in Delhi, who are working in Delhi, they are having 5-day week. That means Saturday, Sunday is a holiday for them. So they can maybe monthly or fortnightly, they can combine the weekend with a casual leave. Suppose for example Saturday, Sunday, with that they can take a leave on Monday, or so 3 or 4 days they can avail this sort of package and come to a place where they can breathe fresh air, ample fresh air. So that is at least if they will take a breathing break maybe once or twice a month, that will mitigate the harmful effects they had while consuming or inhaling the polluted air at their place. This is a sort of hypothesis which can be researched as well by the pulmonary experts, and they can tell that how much effect it will have if a person is taking a breathing break and inhaling fresh air. So to what extent it can mitigate the effects that otherwise have taken place by inhaling of polluted air. So that means it can be a major motivating factor for a prospective tourist to take this type of package because it is pertaining to his or her health. And definitely all of us are conscious more or less about our own health. And there are various reports from Delhi where there have been research conducted on the local population which show that a lot of people are suffering from respiratory disorders, are suffering because spectroscopy was done among a lot of people in Delhi, and that indicated that there are respiratory disorders among the people of Delhi due to the polluted air. So definitely, once those people are exposed to such places where they can inhale fresh air, there are chances that the harmful effects which they had due to polluted air, they will be lessened, they will be decreased considerably once they are exposed to such fresh air breathing breaks. So if that will happen, definitely more and more people will like to avail such type of package. So on that basis, you can capture that market. On that basis, you can go and approach that segment. But you have to take into consideration that such travel will be a repetitive travel. Repetitive travel means when a tourist will repeat the visit. Because if anybody is going for a leisure type of tourism, so definitely he will go, so say, once to a place, and maybe he will not like to go back to the same place. He will go then to other places. But when a person has a consideration of health, in this example as I quoted, then there are chances that tourists will repeat their visits to that place on and often. So while designing this type of tourism product, you have to ensure that the package cost is low, so that it will be affordable for the tourist to spend more time there and to repeat the visits. And definitely the package cost will be low because you are not incorporating star grade hotels for accommodation in this type of product. In this type of product, you may be making use of a homestay accommodation, and that also in those areas which are otherwise not, we can say, areas which are thronged by the tourists like Pahalgam or Gulmarg. These are some remote places which are not exposed to that extent to tourism but have a potential of offering fresh air to the tourist. Because here the main motivation for the tourist will be to undertake travel for the purpose of breathing fresh air. So it may be any far-flung rural area which is not having that sort of tourism infrastructure in the terms of hotels, restaurants, or other tourism related infrastructure, but there is a hygienic homestay accommodation, there is a hygienic way of offering food to the tourist, and the basic housekeeping. So that is enough in that case for the tourist. So this way you can design this type of product, that is a breathing tourism product. I gave the example of this type of tourism, that is breathing tourism. Here in this case there may be no competition as such. You don't have to compete with big hotel chains. You don't have to compete with big or major tourism service providers, because here you have designed a new product which has its own niche segment who want to undertake travel for the purpose of their health. who want to take travel to rejuvenate and to recover from the effects they had by inhaling in the toxic environment. So that way you have the liberty and flexibility of marketing your package, of pricing your package, and definitely your costs in offering this package will be quite low. So that is actually what product design is all about.